You're listening to the RV Transport Podcast. I'm Tom, the driver.
And I'm Bunny, the sandwich maker.
And we invite you to join us on our journey in the industry of RV transporting, towaway, and drive-away.
So make sure you subscribe to our podcast and also TowawayCouple.com, where you can see our videos and other resources on RV transport.
So enjoy the show. Good afternoon and happy Thursday, September 8th. 2022, and we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of topics today, but one of the things we want to just start off with is these are just our opinions. They mean absolutely nothing. Everyone will have an opinion. We just voice ours and we explain ours in very much detail.
That we do. And you know what? We have plenty of time on our hands today to sit here in our apartment and talk about this.
Yep, because we're currently not dispatched.
No, and who knows when.
So, we wanted to talk about 4 topics. We're going to be talking about the slowdown.
Yes, definitely. And the slowdown has a lot of different paragraphs underneath it.
And then we're also going to talk about plant shutdowns.
Lack of inventory.
As well as interest rates and fuel prices in this segment of our podcast.
Yes, we are. So you can just hear us ramble about our thoughts on all of this fun process.
We figured we could sit here all day long and talk to each other about it, but we figured we'd put microphones to our mouth, hit a record button, and if you're driving or doing absolutely nothing, you're welcome to listen to us.
Please do listen to us.
Our podcasts are unscripted, unedited, and we have no idea what's going to come out of each other's mouth.
That's true. That is true.
So the slowdown.
The slowdown really, really sucks right now.
Right. So every July, there is a scheduled plant shutdown. And kind of like the, what was it? I don't want to say the word, but 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
Oh, yeah.
So they say the plant's shut down for a couple weeks, then it takes a couple weeks to get the inventory back going. So it'd get about a month.
They pretty much shut down in July, and they also work on their New Year rollouts.
Right.
Well, so far we haven't seen anything rolling out.
Well, we did. They went to the Hershey show.
That's about it.
We just pulled a 2023 to the Hershey show last week.
Right. So definitely, and you know what, on our opinion, we're going to go with our opinion. A lot of people, especially the RV industry, is going to hate us for even saying this, but for those of you out there considering doing RV transport for a living, find another job.
Yeah, a lot of people will go on Facebook and they'll ask what type of truck, what type of equipment, and a lot of people will just jump in and say, now's not the time to get in the industry. And that is a very truthful, very to the point answer, but it doesn't actually answer the person or give her any insight of what does that mean? Are you afraid of them taking your loads? Are you being genuinely honest and saying now's not the time?
Exactly.
That you should invest.
And the reason why people are so short is because everybody currently right now is waiting for loads.
And they're frustrated.
And they're very frustrated. So honestly, in our opinion, definitely, if you're on the fence of quitting your job and doing this for a living or wanting a new change, now is not the time. You're going to have to let this slowdown ride through.
I mean, you can do it if you want. There's always somebody offering a job to somebody, but right now what we see is somebody leases on with the company only to get out of it pretty quickly because they quickly learn that they can't afford to do it because of lack of inventory as well as fuel prices.
Right. There's so many people that I'm seeing on the internet that have taken other jobs, are going back home, and they're in the process of looking for other work, and I completely understand.
Right.
Completely understand.
So in this podcast, if you're looking to get into this industry, just listen to what we have to say, and you can get other people's opinion. We always recommend asking other people for their opinions. Our opinions mean absolutely nothing.
Now, since I threw that little zinger right in the middle of all that, we were talking about the plant shutdowns and how they shut down in July.
Right.
And typically roll out the new year, but yet we have yet to see them go full force again this year.
That's why we start this with the slowdown, because it has been really, really slow. When the plant shut down, the transport companies will typically have enough inventory to kind of get people through the slow period, where instead of a month downtime like the plant and reproducing trailers, they might only have a week or two downtime, and it kind of helps out because they'll stack the yards before the shutdown.
I mean, you would go through and there'd be trailers everywhere, and you could go on your load boards and you could pretty much pick wherever you wanted to go. Now I'm going to say it's brutal right now.
If you go to most any yard, I mean, yeah, some of the manufacturers have their trailers either in holding yards or at their yards, but a lot of the yards that people pick up on, I think of Clint Eastwood movies with the whistle and dust and cowboy boots
right.
And nothing. I mean, there is nothing as far as the eye can see.
Right. If we weren't in Indiana, if we were in Arizona or New Mexico, you would definitely see tumbleweeds.
You know, these are podcasts, so I would post pictures, but unfortunately, this is audio, not video.
Yeah. Now, and as far as the plant shutdowns, I mean, we live in an apartment here in Elkhart, and half of the apartment is people that work in the plants. All of these people here are scared too, because I've talked to numerous ones, and their plants are only open 2 weeks out of the year.
Right.
Or, I mean, 2 weeks out of the month.
Right. Yeah. We were just talking to one gentleman, and he said that their plant has been closing 1 week a month, and here real soon they're going to be closing the first week of the month and the fourth week of the month.
Mm-hmm.
So that means they're only going to be open 2 weeks a month. I
have also heard about other manufacturers that are going to be furloughing a lot of different plants. So the slowdown is going to continue, I'm afraid.
Oh, they're talking, before it was till the end of August, and now we're already a week into September, and we went to see about dispatching, and there is just absolutely nothing. We just found out Jayco was closed for a week last week.
Mm-hmm. And they just started work again yesterday.
So that means we might be sitting here for another week or so before anything starts coming out the door. Now, mind you, we are kind of told we're the first on the list because we were supposed to get dispatched after the Hershey show, but they didn't have anything. So hopefully when the next thing comes in, we'll get something.
Right. And, you know, and it comes to the point now, too. I mean, here we sit, and this is where we say you have to be willing to go anywhere at any time. So, I mean, yeah, we have plans for the weekend, and we would really like to be around for next week, too, for other events that are going on. But if they say, hey, we got a Washington or a California run or even a Canada run, we're gone.
We're gone. We're going to be history. They're going to see our taillights.
We'll be like, how fast do you need it picked up?
Now, we are in a position where we always tell people, have a backup plan.
Yes.
We have other jobs, but people will ask us, well, if you have other jobs, what do you care about this? Because we like the money.
We do.
And we like visiting family. There's a lot of perks to transporting RVs.
And just the fact that if you get out and drive this continental United States, it is absolutely beautiful. And so just to pick up a trailer and go into a different area that we haven't been in is always just, it's fun. It's insightful. I mean, I just absolutely love it. And no, we don't plan on giving it up, but we do plan on making changes ourselves. Right.
So we're currently evaluating a lot of different things. We did make some changes with the company that we work for, which they work great with us. And we're looking at all of our costs. We just like everybody else, when we got into this, we had little to no expense. But like anyone else, the more money you make, the more expenses you incur. Such as we have two storage units. One we have 2 enclosed trailers at, and one we have our fifth wheel at. Those are just outcomes sitting there doing absolutely nothing.
Yes. Just literally sitting there.
Now we have the apartment, and we have been really, really, really weighing the apartment, because if we don't sign the lease, the apartment goes up about $250 a month. So if we don't sign a lease, we go back to Alabama. To come back to Indiana, we're going to be looking at a lot more money.
Mm-hmm.
Where if we sign the lease, we save the $250 a month. Even though our rent would go up $70 a month, we would still save $250. But what if we can't bring in enough income? I mean, we have plenty of income with our other job and other sources of income, but we don't want to cut it so close that it would hurt us financially.
No. And also, all what it would take to stay in the apartment is literally for each of us to get 1 run a month to the West Coast. That's all it would take. But at this point in time, can you even take that gamble?
Exactly. Because, well, technically it would be 2 runs for somebody else.
Right.
And it's definitely something. We have another week to think about it, and we'll have to let you know on another podcast what our ultimate decision was. But we do have a house in Alabama. It is completely paid for. We're still paying the utilities on it and the homeowner's insurance. So for us to go back there, we would save about $1,500 a month minimum.
Minimum, yes. Yep, that is for sure the truth. Now, kind of get off of us for a little bit. The other one, too, is lack of inventory. And if you're driving around the area and you see all of these trailers and you see yards full of trailers, you've got to understand that, yeah, those are inventory that they haven't been sold to a dealer yet.
Right. So the manufacturer probably has transferred them from their yard to... I mean, there's all kinds of legalities, and we don't know all the details. We know that every month they do an inventory, and if the trailer's at the manufacturer has to pay taxes on it. And supposedly the loophole is by having it at a transport yard, it's like in a gray limbo area. We don't know this for fact. This is just what we've been told. And some people will say that the transport companies can't hold that trailer there or store the trailer there. I don't know if that's true or not. I see a lot of trailers that aren't moving. I'm assuming that they're being stored until a dealer orders that trailer.
Well,
or wants that trailer.
Well, you take for example where we have our fifth wheel at. There's all kinds of brand new RVs sitting in there that have not moved, have not been touched, and they all still have the manufacturing numbers on them. So you know that they're being held there until probably somebody purchases it.
Yeah, because we see the same trailers for months.
Right.
Now, our fifth wheel stored at one of those like Storage America lots or one of those type of lots. But this lot is smart. They're leasing out all their open space to a transport company.
Right. So, but yeah, so it is a little, it's disheartening to see all of these motorhomes and these travel trailers that are just sitting there and thinking, I could be making money moving that. but we can't. We have to wait until we get the go ahead.
No, a lot of transporters are doing home repairs or honey-do list at home. They're like us. Thankfully, we have an apartment. If we didn't have the apartment, we'd be sitting in Alabama. We wouldn't be sitting at the yard or waiting for a dispatch or a hotel room for weeks on end. Mm-hmm. And it just blows me away. I am seeing quite a few posts on Facebook where people are actually sitting at the yards waiting to get dispatched. And the frustration on them is they should be dispatched first because they're sitting there, kind of like a line when you go into a store.
Right, right. And you know what? It does suck, but that's their choice that they're sitting in their trucks. And it's got to be hella boring.
Well, it's got to be. I mean, one person I just asked if he was sitting in the yard, and he said, yeah. And when I looked at his profile, he's from Florida. That would be a long deadhead home.
And that's
to deadhead back.
Yeah.
So he's taking the gamble.
And that's us. I mean, our deadhead would be 12 hours to come back for a dispatch.
Right. Now, along with the plant shutdowns, we're hearing other plants are going to be starting to shut down. Like one plant we haven't gotten confirmation on, but they are going to furlough pretty much their entire work staff until January.
Yeah, that's scary.
And if that happens, that is a huge sign of things to come.
And my fear is if that happens with one, how many others is it going to happen with?
Well, how many others have we not heard about?
I know, because it's kind of a secret society.
It is. They don't. Getting information
It's like pulling teeth.
Teeth. Just like getting information on how to transport RVs for a living and why we do our YouTube videos. Our YouTube videos wasn't to try to take jobs away from anyone. It was just we didn't have any information, and therefore we thought we would share our journey on how to do it to make someone else's life easier.
You know, and it's funny because we came in during COVID, and everybody came in during COVID. But at that time, they had so many trailers that needed to be moved, and we were constantly moving. And then
we were making money.
We were. And then last summer was a lot different with part shortages and all the wonderful things that we went through there. But so far, what we're going through now is by far the slowest we have seen it.
But now they were having a chip shortage on the motorhome.
Yep.
And Bunny was just looking at her load board, and it's just full of motorhomes, and she couldn't figure out why. On Monday it had one motorhome. On Tuesday or Wednesday it had a ton of motorhomes. And when we were in Starfleet today, we were talking about Bunny doing Drive Away there as well. And by the way, you'll hear her first. What happened today?
What happened today? You mean we decided to go to Canada?
No, that you signed and you're doing now Drive Away.
Oh, yeah. I'm now doing Drive Away for Starfleet also.
So Bunny's doing Drive Away and Towaway for Starfleet. I am just still doing Towaway. So Bunny's way above me on this pay scale.
But also, too, I mean, people are going to be like, how did that happen? Because we agreed to go into Canada.
Yes. Yeah.
So we're finally just going to bite the bullet and do Canada runs, which is in the other thing is scary because, yeah, it's not scary to go into Canada, but the fuel prices of what has stopped us all this time.
Plus hotels. We don't know anything about hotels. We don't like to sleep in the truck, so we've been kind of staying away from Canada.
And besides the fact that now that we have a new baby that we take with us, we can't stay in a motorhome.
Right, so we have to stay either in the truck or the hotel. So we were talking with them today, and all of a sudden their motorhome board started growing, and when they contacted the person in charge of the motorhome, they said, oh yeah, we got the chips in. So the motorhome, the Drive Away division is starting to grow back, but that doesn't mean anything. They still have to sell them.
They got it's probably just back inventory that they're getting out right now.
Exactly. Even though Bunny signed the agreement today, she still didn't get a motorhome today because I don't have a trailer.
No. So, we're really hoping that the Hershey show does a turnaround and hopefully maybe they offer deals to get the 22s cleared out and then make some start selling the 23s.
Well, the Hershey show is going to determine our future.
It is. And unfortunately for us, we won't even know that until after the fact that we were supposed to sign our lease. The Hershey show ends on the 18th and we have to sign the lease on the 15th.
15th or 17th? Are the 18th?
One of those days.
One of those days. We don't even know. We're just going to
One
wait
of
till
those
the
days.
very last second to sign it. Because, again, we don't want to get into a year-long lease that could just devastate our credit. If anything happened, we're not going to put ourselves in a position.
No. And so why are people asking that this industry is
drying up? We'll just start with fuel prices. Yeah, the transport fuel prices. Give you an example. Last time we went to California, we mapped it all out. And as we made our way to California, which is 3.5 days, fuel prices went up 20, 25, or 30 cents a gallon from Elkhart to California. When we stayed in California for about a week, and then when we made ourselves headed back to Alabama, fuel prices went up from the day we looked at them to the day we made it back to Alabama, 50 cents a gallon. That is about 80 cents a gallon in 1 week.
It's just ridiculous.
And that's with our discounts.
And it's so volatile that you don't even know. You can't even map out what your fuel's going to be.
No. I mean, you can have a rough idea what it might be.
Well, yeah, right. Where, even last year and the year before was just amazing because fuel prices were so cheap. But we could pretty much plan on it. If it went up, it only went up 2 or 3 cents. I mean, literally, we're seeing it going up 50 cents overnight. And that's just horrible, especially when you got to fill 95 gallons.
Or 140 gallons.
140.
Yeah, I mean, like this month, everyone's been posting out that Sheetz has capped their diesel fuel at $4.49 a gallon. Mm-hmm. At least they put that out there so you know what every single Sheetz is going to be. It's going to be $4.49 a gallon until the end of September. So if you're out there driving and you're not on Facebook, check that out.
Yeah, exactly. Because at $4.49, that's a lot cheaper than even our fuel discounts right now.
Right. So I think at one point we paid $4.80 something a gallon. What did we just pay in Perrysburg? $4.70 something. So that would have been cheaper to fill up in Sheetz.
I mean, this is getting out there late, but I mean, for the people running to the Hershey show, or if we're going to be picking up from the Hershey show and delivering anywhere, remember Sheetz because they are in Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah, they're everywhere. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, definitely, because in order to survive in this industry, you have to find the cheapest fuel. And a lot of people that don't have an auxiliary tank quickly find out how important even a 50-gallon auxiliary tank, we run a 95-gallon because we want the toolbox on top of it. But a lot of people swear by the 118-gallon fuel tank.
I do have to say, though, from doing drive-away for so many years, and, it really hurts when you got to fuel up a big Class A motorhome. But the first time that I did my first towaway and I had my credit card and Tom's like, it's all yours now, babe.
Right?
Filling up that 140 gallons really sucked.
Yeah, because my truck is only 90 gallons.
I'm like, where'd all my money go?
It evaporated.
It evaporated. As soon as that pump hit, it was gone. My money was gone.
Yeah. So right now, a lot of people have noticed a decrease in their cost per mile.
Yes.
I mean, it's not just one company. Pretty much most of the companies have lowered their rates.
It's across the board. And a lot of it is not on the companies that you work for. They're getting their kickdowns, too, from the manufacturers. The manufacturers are the ones that are setting the fuel surcharges. Right,
but it could also be the company they work for too. So you got to look at it both angles. Our company does not take any fuel surcharge away from the drivers.
Right.
So therefore, and that's one of the things I like about Starfleet is if they're given 10 cents a gallon or 20 cents a gallon surcharge, it comes directly to us.
Right. Exactly.
There's no middleman fee.
No. And the fact that I like how we get paid. How it doesn't matter if we go to the West Coast or to
We get a flat rate.
the East Coast, we get a flat rate. It makes it a lot nicer.
Exactly. So we tend to. I mean, when we didn't care where we ran, we always said, if you're willing to go anywhere, you can make money. As some companies that pay different fees at different locations, like Southern Run pays 30 cents a gallon or 30 cents a mile less than a West Coast run, and that pays 20 cents a mile less than an East Coast run. Our company just pays a flat fee. So while we might see the same cost per mile as an East Coast run, when we're going west and we're going south, we could be making upwards to 50 cents more per mile.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I like the flat rate.
So I am going to put this out there, and like I said, because it's our opinion.
Yeah, we have a lot of opinions.
We have a lot of opinion, but I know that the fuel prices would definitely change a lot if we could get people off of get our pipelines open back up and stop
Some people
selling.
say that Keystone pipeline only pumped it from Canada to whatever, but our fuel was a lot cheaper when those pipelines were open for some odd reason.
There's a lot more than just that pipeline. I mean, if you ran through West Texas three or 4 years ago, West Texas was absolutely booming, and the oil fields were crazy.
It was like Los Angeles traffic on the freeway.
Oh my God, yes. If you go there now, nothing.
It's like the speedway. You can book through there.
You can actually see the tumbleweeds now. Right. And it's so sad. And I mean, it just all plays into each other. And it's going to be horrible when everybody has to go electric, because trying to move trailers on an electric vehicle is not going to be fun.
Well, I'm kind of curious on that, because I've been watching
California.
Well, not just California, but I've been watching. I'm a TikToker. I absolutely love TikTok. And I'm starting to see people with those lightning trucks. And one person just posted that they got the lightning truck, they were going to take their boat to the lake, and they never made it to the lake because they can only drive 58 minutes before they were out of battery.
That
scares me.
I know it scares you. Well, and look what happened to California. As they finally signed into the fact that everybody has to have an electric vehicle. I mean, you can't even bring one in what I don't even know what year it is. They finally signed that.
It's like 2028 or 2035, something
right,
like that.
That you only can have an electric vehicle. And now they're telling everybody you can't charge your cars because we're under a heat wave.
You know what my favorite is? Is when I see an electric vehicle broke down and the person comes out and runs a gas-powered generator to charge it on the side of the freeway for an hour.
Yes. So, with the fuel prices, no one's going to be buying RVs in travel trailers if the fuel prices are super high. Right,
and for delivery, the cost per mile has to go up. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We always hear the same adage. Back in 2002, they did it for $1 a mile or $1.20 a mile. Okay, we're talking today with groceries and everything has gone up. Literally thing is going up except pay. Pay is going down.
Correct. Just a few months ago, I was paying $4 for a case of water. Now I'm paying $6.75.
Right. So I don't care what the rates were in 2012 or whatever it was. We only care about right now, here, today, because we have truck payments to make. Oil changes back then were probably $20 in 2012. Today, they're $180 for an oil change. And the fuel filters are anywhere from $80 to $125 just for the filters without labor.
And if you break down and you take it there without an OEM filter, they're going to have a fit.
Oh, they're going to have a conniption. Trust us. Ask us how we know. Wait, you don't have to, because we know.
So also, too, the biggest one that's going to drive it, and it's going to really drive a wedge, is this recession that everybody says we're not in.
We're not in a recession.
We're not in a recession. No.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
And interest rates are set to go up again.
I thought they were coming down. Apparently, I heard the news wrong.
Yeah, you heard the news wrong.
I thought interest rates were higher because when they said the housing was going to go back to sales because interest rates were coming down to 6%, Bunny goes, no, they're going up to 6%. And I'm like, well, then...
That's your selective hearing.
That's my selective hearing, but...
She must have been a cute newscaster.
Probably was a cute newscaster, because all I heard was wah, 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 wah. But anyway, with that, if the house interest rate, a home interest rate is going to be 6%, how much is an RV interest rate? And you know these RV salesmen, they're going to be very good at what they do for a while. But how many people are actually going to sign on that dotted line is my question. And the Hershey Show is going to answer a lot of that.
It is. It is. And, you know, and everybody's, I hear too, everybody's saying, well, if rents are going to be high and house payments are going to be high, people are going to buy RVs to live in them. Well, let's hope.
Well, where are they going to live?
But I don't know exactly. I don't know where they're going to live.
So I was just talking, someone was talking about making this investment and everything, and they wanted to make it a niche investment. And I was listening to them, and I'm like, why on earth would you make an investment geared towards a very small select group of people where you can have that same investment available to everyone?
Yes.
And I told him, I said, today, if I had the money, I wouldn't even want a financial back or anything. I wouldn't want to be stuck there. But if I had the money, I would invest in land and campgrounds.
Absolutely.
Because one thing that we're seeing across, every time we talk to a dealership or we talk to people, selling the RV is easy, or it was. Pulling the RV was easy. Finding a place to park it was the hard part. All these campgrounds we're driving by are busting at the seams, and I'm thinking, it's like the 70s, 80s again. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know if you guys, how old y'all are, but I grew up going to KOAs and camping, and they were always packed when I was growing up.
Right, and so trying to find a place to park them. And that was one of the things. Everybody's like, well, why don't you live in your own? You have a fifth wheel. Why don't you live in it? Okay. We have a toy hauler. Yeah,
so it has a 12-foot garage, so that makes 12-foot lack of living space.
Yeah, you know, and ours is more designed for sand. We got it in Arizona, so they're pretty much more set up to go out and play in the sand in the desert over the weekend. Or Sturgis. It hauls a Harley really nice.
Yeah.
But we priced out campgrounds here in the Elkhart area, and we're talking $800-900 a month
for sometimes a seasonal.
Yes.
So you couldn't even stay in it in the wintertime. You had to pack it up, and you might be able to leave it there, but all the water gets shut off.
Yeah, but even and then if you can find one that is open year round, all right, now I got to put propane in it, and I don't know about you, but if you've ever tried to heat in an RV in the wintertime. Ours was, like I said, is in Arizona. It does not have the nice Arctic package on it, so trying to keep it warm is hell.
Right.
So for us, it was actually more economical to get an apartment.
So I always thought, if you didn't need electric, all you wanted was a bed to crash in and something like that, I thought, man, maybe go to some of these farms and talk to the farmer and just say, hey, you know what? I don't need electric. I just want to come in, catch a few hours of sleep, and then be gone. How much? If it was $100 a month, I'd be all over that.
I'll leave my RV there.
I'd leave my RV there anyways. But we never got that far.
No.
But, I have talked to some people. One guy offered, he has 40 acres and he has a barn 10 acres away, and he offered to let us park our fifth wheel there. And we didn't do it because he was still half hour, 45 minutes away. But I thought, that would be a good idea to find someone with property.
Right. Especially if you're just going to, like us. If we end up going back to Alabama, it's going to be a 12-hour deadhead. So if we could just deadhead to our own RV, sleep the night, get our unit, and go, that's one thing.
Right.
But like for times like this, when we're stuck and we don't know when we're going to dispatch, the apartment is wonderful.
Yeah, because we came back Monday, and here it is Thursday, and nothing has come in, and we pull out of the Jayco yard. So it didn't help when Jayco closes for a week.
No. No. And we find out the hard way when they're, oh, yeah, well, they weren't open. I'm like, oh, well, damn, no wonder why they don't have anything going.
So we thought we'd come start a podcast. And because we've been doing YouTube videos for years.
Yes. So we like to talk.
And if you don't like listening, turn us off.
Right?
We're really not bad people.
You can turn on the country station.
You can. But yeah,
I'm not going to sing to you because then you really would turn us off.
Right. So on a recap of this podcast show.
Yes.
There is a huge slowdown. There is major lack of inventory. It was down to the point where if you had vax and passports and would go to Canada, you could be pulling trailers all day long, but even that part of this industry is drying up.
Yep. I mean, like we said, we went in today and gave them our cards and our passports and said, okay, we can go to Canada now. And I'm thinking, who the heck agrees to go to Canada mid-September when we know that snow is not very far off?
Speaking of which, I got to put my snow chains back in the truck.
Yes, you do. And it is super cold in Canada.
Right.
I mean, come on. We grew up on the West Coast. We don't know what... We did one winter here, and it wasn't really that cold.
We only wear shorts.
I know.
We have very few pants.
I think we spent more money last winter on all of our winter gear, but it wasn't that cold here.
So it really wasn't, but to this winter supposed to be, you said the Farmer's
really
Almanac.
Supposed to be very snowy.
Very snowy this year. So I'm glad we have four-wheel drives.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
But,
so that's what we should do another podcast on other situations with vehicles.
Oh, we're going to do all kinds of podcasts because we have nothing better to do than just talk.
So you're going to have lots to listen to. So if you guys are on a Washington run, you're lucky.
Yeah, because you can listen to us. Ramble. Random ramblings is what we call it.
Yes, absolutely.
Most everything we do on YouTube is always positive, but podcast is different. They can't censor us because we actually host our own show on our own servers.
But we still watch our P's and Q's.
Yeah, we can cuss, but we're not going to cuss.
But like I said, we absolutely
If we cuss, it's by accident.
We absolutely love pulling RVs. And are we going to get out of it? No. I mean, like we said, we have other jobs that allow us to do both. So no, absolutely. We absolutely love it. But this is definitely the time to sit back and evaluate things that you need to evaluate.
Right. And like I said in the beginning is, this is your business. You don't, whenever you're leased on with the company, and I get it. I totally get it. We have a lot invested in our trucks, and so do you. And a lot of times I hear people, and I hold myself back because I feel the same way, but I don't. A lot of people think these companies should be indebted to you, these transport companies, because you brought a truck to the game. And not to burst anyone's bubble, but everybody brought a truck to the game. You're not the only one. And it doesn't matter if your truck is 10 years old or brand spanking new, or if you have a $1,200 or $1,500 payment and someone else doesn't, so you deserve more. I'm just saying that this is your company. You don't work for that company, so you're not getting unemployment if something happens. So you have to think about, what if? I never, ever, ever will let any company dictate how I get paid. Meaning, I will work for that company, but if it comes to slowness, it's me and Bunny are that company.
Exactly. And like you said, you got to run it as your company. I mean, we all came into it with trucks. That was our investment.
Right.
And if you want to better your company, like we did, we bought another truck. So we have 2 trucks in the game. And I swear we have, between the 2 trucks and everything we have in them, we could have a really nice house.
Oh my God. But I don't want to sell either truck.
No, we're not selling either truck.
No, I mean, I would not sell either one. I love my trucks.
Yep.
Both of them equally for different reasons.
So does anybody want to buy a Dodge Charger?
Yeah, we have a Dodge Charger that's paid for. What's that have? 60,000 or 80,000?
80,000.
But it has a 1,000,000-mile warranty.
But that's actually, too, another thing that had was our fallback. If anything happened and we were, God forbid, if we were to lose everything, at least we have a house and a car that's paid for.
Right. So, again, having backup plans. Backup plan. If you aren't having multiple sources of income, you really ought to look at how to get into different industries. How can you work part-time or full-time and be on the road doing RV transport while you build up your RV transport? You could still get paid by someone else. Who does that? Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
We also do affiliate marketing. Do we get paid when you click our links on TowawayCouple.com? Yes. There is nothing wrong with that. Do we get paid if you watch our YouTube videos? Yes. Did you pull money out of your pocket? No. But we get paid advertising fees. A lot of people seem to be very triggered that we are always trying to better ourselves financially, but we're not asking people to pay. YouTube just sent us a message saying that we have enough subscribers and enough views that we should start a subscriber where we do little teaser videos but put a real meat and potato video out for people to actually pay us, and we don't want to do that.
No. Nope. Because, we're not, like you said before, we could probably buy a Happy Meal. Well, you know what? That, along with everything else, that comes and goes too, and we haven't seen any money from our videos here in a little bit.
Right, because the industry's drying up, so people aren't watching as much.
Exactly.
But we still do it, and we still incur a cost of putting these videos out.
And time.
Well, time. So, yeah, like I say, I don't know why, but some people are very, very triggered that we make commercial money by people watching commercials. And guess what we're going to try to do with our podcast? We're going to try to monetize it.
And guess what? Don't let those people on TikTok fool you, because they're making money too.
Oh, everyone's making money. All the YouTubers are making money. Everyone who puts out content is either they're making money or their goal is to get to a point of making money.
Exactly.
So, and there's nothing wrong, again, because that is another backup plan to financially being stable.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, I think all of you guys that have really good advice, there's no reason why you couldn't do a YouTube channel. I get asked all the time, why don't you do a YouTube video of all your travels? And I'm like, our videos were really, we started them with the intention of helping people get into this industry as we had a pulling teeth getting information. I didn't want to change that format. And now after 2.5 years, I'm thinking, let's do a podcast.
Right.
I mean, we'll still do the videos, but I want to do podcasts because we can just talk for hours if we want.
Well, and what's great about podcast is we actually have the portable equipment too. So we can do a podcast when we're sitting in a hotel doing nothing.
Or in the car driving.
Exactly.
You might hear the background sound, but what do you care? What do you care? You're not paying for it.
No.
You might hear a commercial. Oh my God, that's going to be the end of the world.
All right, so I think we've about...
I don't know how long we've been doing this. We are at 43 minutes.
Yeah.
I think we can go 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes?
Make it 45.
Make it 45.
Everyone wants 45 back. Damn, I just went political.
Wow.
I just lost 1 subscriber. But whoever listened this far,
Right.
Wants 45 back too.
Yes, with the fuel prices that go with it.
Right. So definitely check out our YouTube channel if you haven't. Just go to youtube.com or YouTube app and type in TowawayCouple. And then on our journey through this, we post everything on our Instagram and Twitter, and both of those are TowawayCouple. Mm-hmm. But more importantly, if you really do want to support us, go to TowawayCouple.com. On there, we have resources. We got all kinds of stuff that support RV transporters, from hotels to insurance companies to signage, everything. But we also have a lot of links of stuff we actually use. Those links go to Amazon. Yeah, you can go search it, but if you click the link, it costs you nothing, but we might make a nickel or a dime. And that's kind of fun to see when we see a check come in from Amazon for $80 or $90 in a couple months.
And also, too, the other way that you could support us is if you have not watched our videos, when you're watching the videos and the commercial comes on, you can just get up and walk away when the commercial, but let it play because we make a few extra cents.
Yeah, go take a leak.
Yeah. Empty your radiator.
And be a radiator. So hopefully you listen this far. Again, we are just doing random ramblings. We have nothing
better to do.
We have nothing better to do. If you want us to talk about something in depth, go to TowawayCouple.com. There is a contact link on there. Send us an email, and we'll see about getting you on a future show. Yes.
So definitely, if you're going to suggest it and you want to talk about it, you can call in.
Yeah, and another thing is we have the capabilities here, maybe not on the road, but here, where we can actually do callers.
That's what I'm saying. They can call in, yes.
Yeah, so. All right. Well, now's not the time to get into this, but in a couple months, things might change. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us. Go to our Facebook group, RV Transporters for New People.
Yes.
Or RV Transport for New People. Wealth of information there.
It is a wealth of information, but even that is starting to get really quiet right now, too. So
very, very quiet. It's very crickets.
Definitely a sign of the times, and hopefully the sign changes real soon.
Yep. So, all right. Until next time.
We'll see you down the road.
We'll see you down the road.